Handshake there. And David Reese. Okay, we have a number of players with us tonight. I'm going to read those names first. First is Richard Alarcon. Next is Arthur Charles. Come on up. It's going to get crowded up here. We'll get new friends here in a minute. We're already teammates. Arthur Charles, got to put your medal on. Next is Dante Glinton. Next is Donovan Webster. Next is Reggie Phillips. Next is Ron Wood. See you ready? Ron Wood. Okay, next is Kinsey Smith. And of those that are with us tonight, the last one is with us is Brian Pratt. Okay, there are several players who weren't able to join us tonight. Archie Wright, Tony Bailey, Robert Robertson, and Carol Hill. So let's give it up for the team. Thank you, Mike.
I'm the hook. 2 minutes.
It would be 2 minutes. I guarantee you that. If you had an opportunity to either attend the state game or watch the video today, this evening, or you have an opportunity in the future to watch it, you'll see in the last 48 or 58, 1 minute and 58 seconds of that game, really epitomizes what this team was all about for the duration of that season. Reggie Phillips chases down a Menlo Atherton player from behind, makes an incredible block on that shot to turn the game around at that point when we're down 5 points. He gets fouled, he goes to the free throw line, we get a big rebound and a putback by Arthur Charles, and then 2 big free throws by Archie Wright. And that happened night in and night out with this team. And I think it says a lot about their character and their integrity and the willingness to not fail and the willingness to make sure that each and every one of them were playing the best they could play for each other and for their school. And this really, this is a microcosm of what's transpired prior to the 1988 team. It was people like Buzz Caffey, Steve Roberts, Lonnie Sheldon, and the many other incredible players that were at Foothill High School who brought that tradition to the school. And this team took that tradition, and I think they ran with it, and got to a point where it was really the pinnacle of success in the state championship. Thank you very much to the committee. Thank you everyone for being here.
Each of the inductees, we have someone who thought would be special for them to be able to present to them. So Buzz is going to come up and shake hands. So Coach, you stand in front, fellas. We need to all be on stage. It'll be a challenge. I don't know what we'll ever do if we have a football team, but this is a basketball team. We got some beat here. Come on up. We're going to get a group photo.
The autographs for extra.
Yeah.
going to do this 15 times. So next up, we have. Next up is. Give her just a second. Get back towards your seats. Everybody loves you in the Hall of Fame, baby. That's how that works. Okay, here we go. Next up is Cheryl Alexander. And it's the class of 1972, so let's look at the screens. While Cheryl was an outstanding athlete at Foothill High School, the athletic world really opened up for her at college. At BC, Bakersfield College, she began to play badminton, where she helped lead her team to win the state championship. At Cal State Bakersfield after that, having never played organized volleyball, she joined the CSUB volleyball team and went to the NCAA Division II National Championships and was an all-CCAA player, after never before having played volleyball. Just 3 years later, she became the coach of the CSUB women's volleyball team. Played there 3 years later, she was coach of the squad. And then was chosen to she was the founding coach for the CSUB women's softball program, where she would serve as their first coach. An extraordinary athlete, an extraordinary life, and an extraordinary person, Cheryl Alexander. Come on up. Each of the individual inductees have, and you need to walk up and ask one of them to see these rings. These rings are gorgeous rings, a personalized ring for each one with their name on it and some stuff like that, as well as a plaque. So let's take a picture first and then we'll hear from her.
Okay, when I first heard about this, I thought it was a really, really cool idea. I never thought in a million years that I would be nominated. I heard about it, I thought, that would be really cool, but all I ever did was play tennis, because there wasn't anything else. So I heard that I had been nominated, and I thought, that's pretty neat. There's no chance, no way that I was ever going to be selected. But then I heard that I was selected. I mean, that was very, very cool. So then I heard I had to give a speech, and then I was really panicked. So I want to thank the selection committee. It's very humbling, and I can't tell you how much it means to me. I'd like to thank my brother, because my brother did take me out in the backyard and he would trying to catch every day. And my mom did the same thing. My family is here. My friends are here. I learned all of my, foundation of competition, I guess, from Foothill High School. My coach, Marilyn Conley, she was a go-getter, and she made us work for it, and we did that. And like I said, I've developed lifelong friends through competition, through sports, and I just want to say, John, Dad would be very cool.
Okay, next, turn your attention to the screens. Our next inductee is Coach Ted Oliver. Bill Moore, one of his good friends through his lifetime, as you heard there on the tape. When you think of Ted Oliver, what do you think of? Well, the first thing I think of, he is the ageless one, right? But after that, you think of him as, these words I think are fitting for Ted. Fierce competitor, always prepared, cannot think of the possibility of quitting, 100% committed to everything in his life. His character and integrity are reflected throughout every area of his life. But we think of him as Ted Oliver, Hall of Fame coach. Thank you very much.
You know, I was thinking about this, and it's going to be another 2 minutes, okay? The longer that you're out of high school, the better we become as coaches and athletes. When I was in the Army, I was in there with some really terrible athletes, but they were all high school all-stars, every dang one of them. I will tell you this group here tonight, you are all high school all-stars, truly. And no matter how long you're out of high school, you'll always be able to say that. So congratulations to all of you. I am humbled, really I'm humbled as a limited talented individual out of Shafter to be included in this group. It's a credit to hard work and showing up every day and just trying to do the best job that I can do. And that's it. That's what I credit to. It's just the hard work ethic that I learned from my parents. I also truly cared for the students and the athletes, and I hope some of them benefited in life for having been in class and on the teams that I coached. I want to thank the committee for all the work they've done on this particular program. I'd also like to thank the Kern High School District and Foothill administration, particularly Jerry Robinson, who was the athletic director many years that I was coaching at Foothill, and Jerry now passed on, but I want to thank him at this time for the support that they've given us over the years. I cannot say enough, and thanks enough, to the student athletes that I've had the privilege of working with over the years. Those are the most important ones right there, the kids. And finally, thanks to friends and family. Many of them are here with me. There are several of them here tonight for their support over the years. And especially, as you saw in the video, my wife Janet, who was always there through thick and thin, and good times, and sometimes not so good times. But thank you to everyone. Congratulations to all the inductees, and have a wonderful evening.
Okay, next, if you would turn your attention to the screens, we're going to induct Mike Ackerley, played football at Foothill, class of 1965. So come on up, Mike, while we're giving you Come on up, I'll let you stand here just for a second. I have just a couple of things to say. First of all, Mike Ackerley is one of those that we recognize this evening that has an unbelievable resume. I'm going to use the word extraordinary over and over again. His resume is so full of accomplishments that we don't even have room to list them all. We had to edit out so many things about his life. He has excelled in athletics at every possible level, from high school through the highest levels of professional football. He was All-City, All-Metro, All-American. He coached at USC and numerous Division I programs. He has such a good football mind that he was relied upon as a scout for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, St. Louis Rams, Tennessee Titans, and the Houston Texans. Mike Ackerley, now a member of the Foothill High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Here's your ring, Mike. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, you must say something. I forgot that part. That tape said it all.
Yeah, I did have some stuff written down here. I didn't know what all we were going to put on that tape there, so it's all in there, so we might skip that real quick. But I did want to recognize some of my family members that are here. All of my brothers and sisters went to Foothill, so our whole family went to Foothill. My sister Jody's here. It's my oldest sister. Her husband Hugh. Hugh went to Garces, but we won't hold that against him. My brother Tom, his wife Kim, my sister Karen. My son Chad's here. Chad played for Coach Mentor at Foothill in 1988, attended Foothill High School. My wife Jean, my lovely wife Jean, has been very supportive in everything that I've done. I did have a couple stories I wanted to share. I'll share one real quick with you. About Coach Pollard. It wasn't on the tape there, but I remember when we had our summer workouts when we were in high school there at Foothill. We'd have our summer workouts, we'd come to the weight room. Coach Pollard, and some of you younger people may not understand the reel-to-reel music tapes. You know, you don't plug it in your ears, it goes reel-to-reel. He would roll this reel-to-reel tape in the weight room, and he would plug that thing in and click the start button. And the music would come on, and we would start lifting. And invariably, it was always Ray Charles, Sweet George Brown, over and over and over again. And that's the way we worked out every day during the summer for the 3 years that I was at Foothill, and it was always great. And as I said, the tape, I wouldn't have gone to college if it hadn't been for Coach Pollard. He convinced me there was a thing to do. I wasn't sure it was, but I did it, and I haven't looked back since. It's been a great experience, and football, as they say, football has been good to me. One little side note here, Dr. Baker mentioned about Bakersfield Country Club being involved. We used to work, my brother and I used to work up here at Bakersfield Country Club, parking cars. So when all of you leave tonight, if you park by a valet, take care of that guy. He's running every other
that's here, being honored tonight. I'm very humbled to be involved and included in that. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to Coach Baker and the whole group. This one, the whole thing was great. This was unbelievable, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, we have two inductees this evening that have passed away. And the next one is John Ackerley, who is Mike's brother. John was from Foothill, class of 1966, and was also an extraordinary football player. Let's tee it up and watch the video on John. John's daughter, Ashley, is going to come up and receive this on behalf of her father. So let's give her a round. One of Foothill's first four-year, three-sport athletes. All city, all league, all metro, started for the D1 UNLV Rebels. 5 interceptions in that single game. We can't say that enough times. It's a remarkable record. Two return for touchdowns. And then an extraordinary coach at 3 high schools in Las Vegas area, leading one of those to the team, to the Nevada State Championship in 1977. There are some that we lose too soon. And John certainly is one of those. An extraordinary athlete, an extraordinary leader, and an extraordinary brother, son, and father. We miss him, but we're proud to honor him this evening. John Ackerley is our newest member of the Foothill High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Ashley, congratulations.
Well, first, I'd like to say I appreciate the invitation to be here at this special evening. I'm very happy and honored to be present at such a memorable occasion. I'd like to thank the board of the Hall of Fame for their work in recognizing special athletic achievement. Great coaches are instrumental in the lives of athletes. And so I'd like to thank Coach Permiter and Coach Pollard for the efforts and their leadership. Most of us, we like things that go fast. And I hear my dad could run. And though I never got to see him play, I understand he could play a little football. In fact, some of the notable accomplishments have already been spoken about. He was part of Foothill's 1965 championship football team. He continues to hold that record with 5 interceptions in a single game, returning 2 for touchdowns at Bakersfield College. And he was also part of that historic first football team at what is now UNLV Rebels, when they went 8-1 in their flagship year. And much like his dedicated coaches, later in life he too coached talented athletes and helped them go to a state championship in 1977. None of which are small feats. So I'm really happy to be here tonight for this induction. And once again, thank you for this special honor.
Special having Ashley here, don't you think? Yeah. Next, we have a video to give you a little background on Daryl Narove, an outstanding, extraordinary wrestler from Foothill High School, class of 1984. Daryl, why don't you make your way up along with Ted Oliver, who's his presenter, while we're doing the video. Sorry, we want Ted to do a photo op with him here. Well, Ted's going to tell you a little bit more about Daryl. What an extraordinary level of achievement and competitive spirit. Not just any level of competition. He was appointed to West Point, which takes a congressional recommendation. He went on to serve his nation as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot in the United States Army. Daryl is not just an extraordinary athlete, he is also an American hero. We thank him for his service to our country. You're never going to be able to intimidate a man who, when he goes to work every day, he must deal with people who don't just want to beat him, they want to kill him. And he came home from work the victor every day. Always do your best. What an example we have of that credo with Daryl LaRoe, our newest member of our Foothill Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
All right, first off, there's a lot of people to thank, obviously. First off, we can't get to a place like this without a lot of support from a lot of people. Probably three main groups that I'll mention, parents and family, of course, a lot of support I think we all get from them. Coaches, as I mentioned in my message earlier, I've had some great coaches throughout my career, but especially in high school, and no coach like Coach Oliver. The other one too is, I think everybody would agree here that we don't get to where we are without a lot of support from all of our teammates. And certainly, as I think you probably saw, if you pay close attention on some of the pictures there, that teammates, even in wrestling, like Mike Dallas, if you remember him, it's because of people like that that we get to where we are. The last thing I'll leave you with, a little bit different than some of the other messages, because Coach Oliver had called me about 3 weeks ago, and had asked about, what's in aha moment, or also asked me about what are some of the most memorable points in your career. And talking to him on the phone, just trying to think kind of off the cuff. Of course, I mentioned things like being a state champion and stuff like that. But in actuality, as I thought about that later, I thought about what really were the most memorable moments that I had throughout that time period. And quite honestly, this is, I think, what probably drives all of us to be champions, is the times that we lose, not necessarily the times that we win. When I thought back on it, I really cannot remember having won the state championship, at that moment. I know I did, but I can't really mentally remember it. However, what I can remember very well is my senior year when I lost. I can tell you exactly what that moment felt like. And it was painful. I can tell you exactly how I felt my junior year in college after having that disappointment. Again, not that this is a negative message, but I really think that that's what drives us as champions. Is not necessarily the times that we win. I think we get complacent when we win, but more so the times that we lose. Because I think all of us here, if anybody here enjoys losing, then you probably wouldn't be here. All right, and so it's those times that I think it really drives us to be that much better than what we had been previously. That's my message. Thank you.
Next up, so why don't we have these two come up towards the podium during the video. Next up, we have Jeff Houghton, football, class of 1975. Coming up, Jeff. Let's come in, it's going to be a presenter. So let's go to the video and then let's get a bigger way of time. Look at the picture of Jeff Houghton. There's two reasons he's in the Hall of Fame. One is he had the most beautiful hair of any guy I ever saw. He also was a head knocker. He was one of my teammates at Foothill. I love the guy. And some say I can't see straight. I don't have the sense to see straight. But if that's true, that's because Jeff Houghton hit me the hardest I've ever been hit in my entire life. Head to head, and I'm not sure my left eye still works, but that guy could hit. He was All-City, All-League, Lineman of the Year, All-American, and linebacker on 3 USC Rose Bowl teams. And you'll never meet a nicer guy with a smile that can still disarm anyone he meets, and he can still knock you out cold. Bakersfield's a lesser place because Jeff doesn't live here anymore. We miss him, and we're glad to have him with us tonight. Jeff Houghton, a member of the Foothill High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'd like to thank that committee. I was here, what was it, 2 months ago when they had the dedication for the new stadium, or renaming the stadium after Coach Fermenter here. And I live in Oklahoma and Pittsburgh right at the moment, so I'm not privy to all the stuff that's going on. And some friends of mine sent me the information, so I came out to that event. And they're talking about a Hall of Fame, and I'm thinking, man, what a great deal that the school's going to have. And there's no way I thought I'd be in the inaugural class. I played with some great athletes. They were very supportive. The fact that I was singled out along with a good friend of mine and a kid that I played ball with from junior high on, it's an honor. It's a real honor to be here. So there is many people, as they mentioned in the room here, that are still good friends of mine that could have easily been nominated and inducted this year. So I'd like to thank my parents who are unable to be here this evening. They have passed away. They were very supportive. I was fortunate to have that kind of support. My brothers who came, none of us live here in Bakersfield anymore. I got 2 that live in North Carolina. And Steve's brother, Chuck, and they're here. That are attending this evening, and it's just an honor. And there's more people than I can think of to thank. And this is a great thing, and I hope to stay in touch with everybody that's going on for the future years. So again, I thank everybody for this honor.
Still has more hair than I have. Way low, right? Okay, next up we have our second inductee for the evening who has passed away. But we could not miss the opportunity to induct Dr. Richard Polson, who was one of our team physicians for 23 years. So let's go to the video of Dr. Polson.
And how grateful we are that you considered him. And I personally know that he's...
Receiving the award on behalf of his father this evening is Dr. Polson's son, Cameron. Come on up, Cameron. Oh, it's not? Chuck, come on up, Chuck. I'm sorry. Chuck. Chuck, good to see you tonight. Come up here front. I have just a couple more things to say about your dad. Dr. Polson was a consummate professional, dedicated to improving the lives of all that he touched. He volunteered at Foothill for 23 years at every home game and most of the away games, as well as being the team doc for the Renegades and many of the other athletes in town. He was generous, caring, reliable, dedicated, a healer, a mentor, a husband, and a father loved by everyone. Truly a life well lived. We honor him this evening, and we're happy to have you here on his behalf. We'd love to hear you say a couple things about your dad, and we just want to congratulate you for the great man that your dad was.
First, I'd like to thank those who nominated him to this prestigious award. He would have loved to have been here. Foothill to him was a family. His family all went to BHS. We all did sports at BHS. And, every Friday night we competed with him because he was at Foothill. I was fortunate to love all sports, and I would go to Foothill games just to watch Jerry Black. I would go to Foothill basketball games to watch Lynn Shelton play. Each week, Dad and I would talk about the games that were coming up and the chances the teams had. And no matter what, the underdog, Foothill, always prepared and did well, no matter what they did. One of the great stories I have about him being a part of Foothill was getting his letterman's check. He was so proud to receive that jacket. He would go to the games and complain about being cold. And so they presented him with this letterman's jacket. And he came home that night and showed us his jacket. He wore it to every game with pride. Thank you. I humbly.
Thank you, Chuck. We appreciate you giving us some insight into your father like that. Okay, I know we're doing this and we just keep rolling along, but we want to make sure that you're home before tomorrow. So, next up we have, yes, thank you, somebody said. Next up we have Dave Edmondson, coach, and many other things at Foothill High School. Well, they're coming up, I want to say a couple things about Dave. An extraordinary athlete in high school, college, and the United States Marine Corps. We recognize Dave this evening for his legacy that he leaves as coach, teacher, and administrator. A wicked sense of humor. I didn't come to appreciate until I was an adult because he was so stinking intimidating when I was a kid standing in front of him. I didn't know how funny it was, it scared me. He's the coach which caused me to recognize that I could be more than just an athlete, which was good for me because I wasn't that good an athlete. And that in mind, he made me aware that I could make greater impact with my mind than with my body. Coach Edmondson is what made me realize that in my life. So thanks, Coach. Thanks for the impact you've had on thousands of lives. And tonight we honor Dave Edmondson and inducted him into the Foothill High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
When I saw Ted Oliver, that's ridiculous. You see his hair? They're the same age. Then I looked at this video. They found one raunchy picture of me, and I saw it over and over again. I was really better looking than that photo showed. But seriously, I would like to thank the selection committee and all those of you who have made this honor possible for me tonight. I really appreciate it. It would never be, if it wasn't for the support I had at home. I'd like to introduce my wife of 45 years, Janice. And my family, Matt, Brooke, and Carrie. You could always tell when it was coaching season, the first thing that my wife would tell me when I came in was, use your indoor voice. When I came to Foothill, I did not expect to stay there for my entire career. But I was just having such a good time, I couldn't leave. Can you imagine sharing an office for 34 years with Ned Permenter and Bobby Zell, 34 of them, and And for many of those years, Steve Roberts and Jeff Albert, who are here tonight, and there were others also. We had a good time. We always laughed. Nothing was off limits. 34 years, when I think of that, that lasted longer than any of Ned's marriages. He found the right one this time. He's going for the record. When I said we laugh all the time, it was at the expense of someone. It always was. One year, they were hiring a new instructor and a coach. He's a PE teacher. He would share this office with us. He was a minister. And I thought, oh my goodness, this won't work at all. Because, I mean, we talk about divorce, sex, you name it. And his name was Steve Zavarka. And I was really apprehensive about this, but he came into the PE office, did his famous trip. You know, he didn't really, and he stumbles across the room and lands on my desk. I don't even know this guy. Reaches up with his finger and swipes my ear and says, "You have a little soap left on it." And I knew he'd fit in. And he did. Well, I know this is a long evening, so again, I would like to thank all of you for this honor tonight. Thank you.
He did say nothing was off bounds, didn't he? Okay, next we have from Foothills class of 1975, football player extraordinaire Gary Blackford. Let's go to the video. Let's get some time. No better back in the history of a program. Quite a story program like that. The number 3 rusher in the history of California. I was privileged to be one of Gary's teammates, and it was my job as a tight end to go downfield and find somebody to block. Gary was so good that every player, every play, would run after somebody to block downfield, because you knew if you gave him the slightest chance, he would score from anywhere on the field. He excelled the same way in college, at Bakersfield College. I forgot to tell you I have a little story about Gary. Coach would never let us run it up. He just kept the throttle back on us. We never ran it up on anybody, and I know we could have really hurt some people. But there was one game, Gary gained 318 yards halfway through the third quarter. And Coach said, "You got to come out, Gary." 318 yards in 2.5 quarters. What were you thinking, Coach? And you won't meet a nicer, more humble guy, no matter how far you look. You set a standard that will likely never be matched, Gary, with over 4,500 yards rushing at Foothill High School. Congratulations to Gary Blackford, a member of our Foothill High Athletic Academy.
First of all, I just want to say what an honor it is to be here tonight. I would have never expected this. You know, Gary Blackford had played at any other school there at Foothill, he wouldn't be in any Hall of Fame. I was fortunate to play behind the finest offensive line in the Valley. When you're a sophomore at 5'9", 135 pounds, all you gotta do is hide behind Lonnie Shelton. And I know if you got a problem with this stuff, people talk to Lonnie. But I want to thank everybody that voted for me. I want to thank all the people that put so much effort into making that happen. It was truly a wonderful event. I have a quick story I want to tell about how generous Coach Preventer is. I called Coach Preventer. I said, "Coach, did you see what we have to wear tonight?" I said, "All I have is smoked jeans and cowboy boots and a Meadow Creek Ranch t-shirt that my buddy Jay gave me." He was, "Don't worry, Black, we'll go get you a suit." So I go meet Coach. He takes me down to get a suit. We go to a real fancy place. And I'm looking at these suits over here, they're real nice. And I look over and I see Joey Porter's over there shopping. I say, let's go shop where Joey's at. He goes, Blacker, you get over here with the sales rack, we're gonna get something here. I said, well, look at Joey. He's got, I said, no, come here, don't go over here. So we go over and hang out the sales rack and find the suits. We go back home and say, Coach, I'm never gonna pay you back. He goes, don't worry about it, Blackford. So I'm gonna give everybody's help tonight. I have 250 8x10 autograph pictures of Ned per minute that I need to sell. I've got a lot of them for 20. Anybody else come by my table and pick up a few.
Okay, as he makes his way towards the front, our next inductee is Dr. Bill Baker. And Joe Thompson is going to be the presenter for him. So Joe, why don't you come up as well while I watch the video on Dr. Baker. The committee had to kind of step in with regard to Bill's nomination. Doc Polson was a doctor, team doctor at Foothill for 23 years. Doc Baker was a team doctor at Foothill for 25 years. I've heard of high school football programs that have had gynecologists and dentists for their team doctors. We had Doc Polson and Doc Baker. The committee said we had to have it done this way. Dr. Bill Baker has created a legacy every place he's gone. Here at Foothill, an outstanding athlete in his own right, the world opened up to Bill when he went to college, and others noticed his extraordinary potential. All he needed was the gift of opportunity, of which he took every single advantage. He had a knack for recognizing how he can best affect those around him, and then he does whatever it takes to make sure that he makes a difference in that effort. A lifetime of service to his alma mater, to his community, to his family, and to his lifelong friends. Bill Baker has improved everything he has touched in life, and he is the heartbeat of our effort here with the Hall of Fame at Foothill. Congratulations to Doc Baker. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Well, you might have left me speechless, Mike. Thank you all. I learned a while ago at emotional times like this to write things down because it's hard to wing it. Thank you to Foothill High School Athletic Hall of Fame, Committee and Board of Directors, for generously considering me worthy to be inducted alongside such an impressive group of coaches, the foundational coaches of Foothill High School Athletics, and all their success. And the company of Foothill's first team doctor, Dr. Polson, and such an amazing group, I think Dr. Alexander said, a dream team of athletes. I grew up on Earl Street, south of Pioneer Drive School. My brothers Jeff, Greg, Randy, and Kevin. We learned hard work, sacrifice from our parents. We learned the importance of family and to love one another. We competed with one another, and then Foothill. After Foothill, I became a Young Life Christian group leader with the BHS Club. Sharon was my assistant leader. Even though she was a North High star, I still fell in love with her. I forgave her for that. With Sharon at my side, we went from BC to Cal Western, UC Irvine, and back to Bakersfield. Back home, the first thing we did was offer to help Foothill and BC. Our kids grew up around Foothill and BC, and we watched all four compete for such legends in coaching as Cheryl Alexander, Connie Preston, Teresa Hudson, Ted Oliver, Ned Permetter, and Bobby Zell. For 25 years, I was on the field at Foothill. Cheryl was in the stands. She was also there Friday morning, cooking breakfast for the team and preparing spaghetti as a pregame meal for all the playoff games. After 43 years, she remains the love of my life. Thank you, Coach Permetter. From you, I learned dedication, commitment, and the importance of setting high standards and living up to them. I didn't believe everything Coach Permetter said, though. Because one time, he told me that I made up for being small by being slow. And I'm sure that was not the case. Coach Stammer thought I was pretty fast. Thank you to all the educators in the room. We're forever grateful to the teachers, administrators, and staff at Foothill for my education and for the education of my children. Finally, thank you to all the individuals with whom I have worked in caring for Foothill athletes. This is not a one-man job. Dr. Polson, we work together. Dr. Mark Newborough, equipment managers and trainers, Ray Miranda, Vern Walk, Sam Barnes, Andre Moore, Joe Augusto, and Anthony Fogel. Thank you all for this great honor.
Next up, we have Coach Bob Ezel. Turn to the video. Coach Ned Perminer. As Bob's coming up, I want to tell you a little bit about Bob. You can't overlook the extraordinary athlete that Bob was in his own right. He was a renowned softball pitcher, a tremendous quarterback. He challenged his players every year to see if anybody on the team could throw the ball further than he could. No one ever beat Bob throwing that ball for distance. Only Bob did it from his knees. 37 years as an assistant coach. That is loyalty and dedication, and someone who doesn't look to have the limelight. Some would say he was the intellect, sorry Coach Perminer. He was the intellect of the Foothill offense and defense, the brain behind it. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And he could tape up an angle better than and faster than anyone else who ever touched your ankles. Isn't that right, fellas? Yeah. We love you, Coach. We admire you and we honor you this evening. Welcome you into the Foothill High Athletic Hall of Fame. Here's your ring. Congratulations.
You ever think of being in a country club like this?
First, I'd like to thank my family for coming tonight. My oldest daughter, Kim, and her husband, Dan. Oldest son, Dan, wife, Rebecca, Lonnie and her husband, Rudy, and Kevin, and my wife, Claudia, all for showing up tonight. I'd like to thank the committee and the people who put this together. This is a great idea, a great thing. It is super, and it's only going to get better. I'm just proud to be a part of the Trojan tradition that was not only made by the good players that are here, and the great players that are here, and there's some great ones. But I tell you what, this school had a whole bunch of good players. Not great ones, good ones. And those guys played to their ability. They didn't make all league. They didn't make all area, and I've told Ned this before. They didn't make anything except help Foothill have the tradition that it has now. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of them still out in that area, a lot of them. The kids moved on, come there. I coached them later. A couple of guys that I thought really helped our program get off the floor in that area. And they coached a Jack Frost team out there. Took kids back and forth in a pickup truck, in their car, to and from practice, with some of these guys. Really helped us out when we first started. Freddie Costa and Chuck Harris. Coached with some real good assistant coaches. A lot of them, hard to name, 5, 10 of them, a lot of them. PE department, a lot of assistant coaches that really helped us out. I thought did a good job. Last, Ned Berman. When I got there, I think Ned started coaching when they started talking movies, way back. When I got there, he had already been coaching. Ned got the job, he knew what he wanted to do. Ned followed through and did what he wanted to do. He was one of the most admired coaches in the valley, in the county, respected in the valley, in the county, and look at his success. Thank you very much.
You mentioned Fred Acosta, who we unfortunately lost a few years ago. And just standing up there is Chuck Perry, the coach. Chuck, what you made of it? I know we've done well. We have 3 to go.
Come on, Chuck.
Next up is Lonnie Shelton, basketball. Class of 1973. Let's go to the video. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit more about Lonnie here. What can you say about Lonnie? The best athlete ever to come out of Kern County. Ever. The best athlete ever to come out of the San Joaquin Valley, as agreed upon by sports writers up and down the valley. All-American in football. All-American in track. Basketball, he was only All-State. May not even have been his best sport. Another guy I was privileged to be a teammate with, Lonnie could stand at football practice at midfield and kick 60-yard field goals just for fun. But basketball would be his destiny, and what a destiny it would be. NBA world champion with the Seattle Supersonics. NBA All-Star. Get this, the guys he started with. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and Moses Malone, and Lonnie Shelton. I heard Larry Bird once say, the toughest defender he ever faced was Lonnie Shelton. But to us, even after all the accolades, all the admiration, all the success, he's Big Lonnie, our gentle giant friend. We love you, Lonnie. We're happy that you've come back to be home with us, and we want to congratulate you on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, being here tonight is such an honor, and it really makes me proud to be a part of the Foothill family. I'm telling you, you guys did this right, and I'm just honored and proud to just be able to say that I'm a Trojan, you know. I'm going to talk about, all the success I had in athletics, but I tell you, the foundation came at Foothill High, and Ned Perlmutter, Ted Oliver, Buzz Caffey, those are my mentors, my leaders, my friends, and I just want to give them thanks, and everybody at Foothill. I mean, I was bused over there from South High after my freshman year. And the students, the faculty, all my teammates, I mean, everybody there was still so welcome, it was the integrated school. And I'm sure all the people from my neighborhood who got bused over there feel the same way. I mean, it was a privilege to be there. It was fun to go to school every day. You know, the coaches and people I dealt with every day made it fun and made me feel welcome and special. And they talk about the ladies in the library. Joanne was a very good friend with Hope Bell. And they made me feel special. Even when I went away, when I went to Oregon State, they would send me love packages and cookies and brownies and stuff. I mean, it was the people back home, people in Foothill, my family. They kept me in the straight line, kept me out of trouble. I didn't want to ever do anything to embarrass them and make them not be proud of me. And I want to thank my family for being here before we carry away. I have two of my 6 sons are here, Titus and Dion, my brother Raymond, my wife Cynthia, my sister Mary. I want to thank you for all the members' support for coming tonight. And I really want to thank Buzz Cassidy. He's been a mentor and a friend to me. And he sat me down in high school and helped me set goals. I mean, we even talked about me possibly throwing the discus in the Olympics one day. I mean, we talked about everything that I should shoot for when I left high school. And I really thank him and appreciate him for that. And once again, it's just an honor to be here and be a part of the Foothill family. Thank you.
Will never, ever be another Lonnie, will there? Okay, 2 to go. Next up is Joey Porter. Class of 1995. So let's go to the tape and Joey and Coach Perman can make the way up front. While Joey's coming up, I'm going to say a couple things about him. Sports Illustrated named Joey Porter the most feared player in the NFL. An all-decade linebacker with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, and Arizona Cardinals. All-Pro 4 times. Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some say defense might not have been his best position. Every one of those high school highlights, he had the ball. I don't know what the NFL was thinking when they put him on defense. In high school, his average per carry, yards per carry, was 12.6 yards. He ran a kickoff back for a touchdown. I'm sure, I don't know how many times he must have told his coach, "Give me the ball, coach, let me have the ball." Could you imagine that a freight train bearing down on you as tough and as big as Joey Porter was, on some 150-pound high school defensive back? Must have been scared to death. But we know the softer side of Joey. He's generous, he's kind, he's loyal to his friends and to his hometown. And most of all, we know that Joey is loyal to Foothill High School. We cannot quantify the depth of his generosity to so many causes here back home. We're proud of you, Joey. We're glad you come back home and to make this your home. And we just want to thank you for the huge contribution that you've made to Foothill and to our community. Congratulations.
I'm more than to say that I'm honored to be here. It's been a long road, and I'm happy. I have my family here. I have my coaches here. A lot of reasons why Joey's here today, because I had to coach Ramirez and Coach Ezell. You know what I mean? You talk about a stand-up guy who take a back seat and take nothing away from Ramirez, because he is the head of Ramirez. But Ezell did a lot of stuff in that background that a lot of people didn't know about. So to come in with this class, you gotta understand, like, I'm class of 95 and these guys are class of 65. I'm inducted in the same Hall of Fame with Lonnie Shelton. You know what I mean? I'm still in shock right now because the guys who I looked up to me, that was big factors in my life, was the AA basketball team. You know, them was my big OGs. Them was my guys that I looked up to. I looked up to Dante, Reggie, you know, all them guys over there, Kizzy, all them guys was the guys I went to California Park and played basketball with and thought that's what the best was. And today it shows me that is what the best was, because they're all here today. And to be coming up speaking last, I signed a poster today to Ronnie Shelton, and on the poster I wrote, to the best athlete to ever come to Bakersfield, California. Yeah. And I don't care if y'all put me here to speak. After Lonnie, I'm not crazy to understand Lonnie was LeBron like 30 years ago. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And I'm honored. I'm really honored to be here. My kids, I'm happy they finally waking up now. They've been sleeping for the last hour. They tapped it out. But to be here, accepting an award like this, making Foothill Hall of Fame, first ballot at that, and I know for sure it's over 100, 200 athletes come to Foothill that I know that was better than me. And for me to be here, it's an honor. You know what I mean? I can't even explain how happy I am to be here and to have a guy like Permenter to steer me in the right direction. You know what I mean? And I think about it now, a lot of things in high school isn't like it is, like it used to be. You know what I mean? They're coaching for a couple of years and leaving. When you get a guy that can give you 38, 37 years, I mean, come on. Who's going to give you 38, 37 years of their life for somebody else's kids? You know what I mean? That don't really happen like that. And Ezell and Permenter both did that. And I was fortunately one of those kids that they took care of. And you're right, Coach. I never thought we'd be here right now. We're here right now, and I'm thankful. I'm honored. I can't thank my family enough. My beautiful wife, Christy, my 4 kids, my other son, Willie, JJ, Jacob, Jayla. My daughter, Jasmine's not here to be here right now, but trust me, I'm more than honored. This is like, I won a Super Bowl, but this is by far one of the biggest goals I've had besides that, because I live here in this community. And no matter what they say about your guy in the paper, no matter how bad they say I am, I'm your own. I'm Bakersfield. It is. I've never claimed to be from nowhere else. You know what I mean? I don't care how far this ride took me. I've never let a microphone get in my face and not tell you I'm from Bakersfield, California. You know what I mean? And I got so many people in the house to thank, and I would feel like I'm cheating somebody if I didn't thank them. Freddie, I see you over there asleep. Don't worry about it. But you know, for me to make sure I don't leave nobody out, I love everybody that's in this room tonight, because I know you got something to do with Foothill High School. And trust me when I say that everybody here tonight is always going to be in my heart. I remember everything that happened tonight, and it's more than an honor. I'm so excited to be part of Foothill Hall of Fame. And the only thing I could keep thinking of was like, man, I graduated in 95. How do you make the first ballot? from 1995. That's crazy to me. No, not because of Joy Porter, because I got a lot of fans and family that love me like I love you back. Thank you for this. I love everybody here. I couldn't be more happy than to be inducted to the Footy Hall of Fame. And Ms. Lewis, I mean, I know everything inappropriate, but at the same time, I'm trying to bring the program back. In a couple of weeks, hopefully Ms. Lewis allows it to happen. I'll be the high school coach for the year. This program. Now, I can't promise Ned that I got 38 years like you got, but I got something on it. I got 10 or 15 for sure I can dedicate. But this is an honor. I appreciate it. Thank you. Love it.
Just as an aside, the rings are really beautiful. And the largest ring, Jim Worcester, was the largest ring a size 17? Yes. Size 17. There's a size 50, I got big hands, there's a size 15 that just swims on my finger. So there's some big rings here tonight, and some big fellas and big hearts, so we're glad for that. Okay, we're down to one. Coach Ned Perman. Howard Pollard's going to present to Coach Perman, but let's go to first in the video and see what we have to say about Coach Perman. He's going to be joined by Howard Pollard. 40 years as football coach, not to mention so many other teams that he coached. His career record is 220 wins, 157 losses, and 9 ties. Third all-time in the CIF Central Section. 10 SYL League championships. 150 All-League, All-City, and All-Area players. 7 Linemen of the Year and 8 Backs of the Year. Now, I don't take anything away from the athletes, but motivating a kid to do his very best had a lot to do with all that success for all those players. An extraordinary athlete in his own right, MVP of his Wasco High School baseball team, MVP of his UCSB baseball team, and in fact he came to Foothill to coach baseball. Already a member of the Wasco High and Bob Elias Halls of Fame. But beyond all that, Coach Perminer has a legacy like no other. He shaped boys into men. He taught us how to win, not just in football, but in life. He taught us the importance of integrity and character. And he taught us to never quit. Because if we persevered, we would eventually win. We love you, Coach. We're so blessed to have you in our lives. And we admire you, we respect you, and we're just glad to be able to call you Coach and call you friend. Congratulations. Welcome to the Hall.
Not bad for you Wasco boys. Thank you so much, and I really owe a lot to Hartley. He's the guy that convinced me there. I turned him down several times, and I'm glad I came to Foothill. They say that if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's what it was. I love my job, and it was really wonderful. This is tonight. I don't even know where to begin. People are so. This is like a dream come true of something for when it wouldn't have happened without the Foothill guys, and they're the salt of the earth. I mean, these guys, not one of them turned me down when I talked to them about this dream, and that is really something. When those kids come back, you forget wins and losses over a period of time, but boy, you don't forget what your players do in life, and they're just so many. I'm so proud of these people, and you never know. Those little kids out of Foothill on that little dirt patch, the little Okie kids running around, little Doc Bakers and all these guys running around out there. Now they got a scalpel over you and they're cutting on you, and you hope they do not have a flashback to double sessions or you said something like that. I mean, I go to Doc Alexander. He was one of my players, and
I think he's doing a root canal and they pull out a tooth or something. I don't know. And I'll never forget, he coached so long. My last principal at Foothill High School was one of my players, Dr. Joe Thompson. And Dr. Joe Thompson, I'll never forget. I used to always tell Dr. Joe, I'd say, Doc, if I'd have known then what I know now, you'd have played a lot more. I did that about 7 times, and after I'd done it at the Rotary clubs about 7 times, he finally said, no, give me the microphone. He said, you know something, if I'd have known then what I know now, he said, you're damn right I'd have played a lot more. I'd have played as much as I wanted in the position I wanted. So anyway, it is really great. Before I forget, I'd like to thank my family. What you heard is true. I should have been on the program of Hoarders. Who in the heck would say 40 years of 2 reels a game, and every clipping of every game, every program of every game, everything. My wife always asked me, what are you going to do with it? I said, someday there'll be a night like this. I really do. Thank goodness we had it. But anyway, my wife is here, my sister and her husband, my 3 lovely granddaughters who are here, and their boyfriends, and my in-laws, and everyone's here. And this is a wonderful evening, but the most important thing is, like the people said, is you don't get here on your own. And I am so blessed for the people in this room. I look around, I see the people that have just done so many wonderful things, and to see Joey and Lonnie come back, and when you think they've been in all these big cities, but yet they still call Bakersfield their home. And golly, the PE department was that way. Edmondson took no mercy on me tonight. Dave, you caused me to bring out Hall's cough drops. That's how I'm so getting nervous. I'm back on my cough drops again. After 40 years, I thought I'd given up the addiction, but I'm back tonight. But this has really been great. You think of all these athletes, and we have so many deserving athletes, and I know when I go home tonight, I'm going to say, I forgot to say things about some people, but I look at Mike Maggard here tonight, and Mike did a great job. Don't you think he did a great job? Being a supervisor like being a head football coach, everybody knows more than you do. You know what I mean? Anybody ever second guess you, Mike?
Every day.
I tell you what, though, this has really been something special. Foothill has a special place, and it's just going to get better and better. And to see all the people here tonight, and this is first class. People, this didn't happen. We've had so many people when they rings and plaques and all these things, but beyond that, it's just the idea that you people bought into this crowd tonight, and this Foothill loyalty and everything you have. I mean, it speaks volumes. I can't say enough. I was so blessed in life. How do you ever get a job where you can work with the coaches I work with? Bobby Zell sat across my desk for 38 years. You know what? He never missed one day of school in 38 years. If he didn't show up, I knew I was going to a funeral. I mean, that was just the way it was. He never missed one day, and all the coaches that I coach with out there, hey, just great guys. We have a lot of fun in that office. We have, like I say, there are stories that maybe never should be told. Probably that's just where it is. And the players, thank you guys. You know what? Thank you guys for all you did. I hope in your heart you can forgive me if I abuse your ego sometime or put you through a ringer or something like that, because I really didn't mean to hurt you or anything like that. But I look at how you all turn out today. I'm so doggone proud, because I don't even remember some of the scores of the game, but I do know that my guys in life are doing good, and that's the most important thing. So this is a winning night tonight, people. And you really blessed the evening by coming out, and I hope that you will nominate future people. I hope you'll support Foothill. I hope that you'll get those forms and write your nominees in and be a part of this thing and make it go, because we don't want to forget our legacy at Foothill High School. Bless all of you for coming tonight and putting up with a long evening and everything. It's been a wonderful night. Thanks so much to the committee and everyone else. It's really an honor to be here.
But have a seat, we'll wrap up here. I know the hour's late, we're going to close, but it's a wonderful privilege to be able to stand as one of thousands. We got to think of maybe 20,000 athletes have gone through Foothill. What a privilege to be here for any night. I just want to close with, I think it goes some words for all of us, that come from all of us. We all share something in common. We come from the same place. We were largely shaped by the same environment. While we may express it in different vocations, in different responsibilities, or in different places of the world, we've grown up together, those of us in this room. We've rooted for one another, we've persevered and struggled together, we've won together, and on occasion, we together face defeat. But we share this: we won't quit. We'll bow up and respond even if there's a fight and it's not right. We know that preparation is the key to success. We won't be intimidated. We'll be gracious in victory and resolute in defeat. And we will persevere until we overcome. And we owe this thing that we share in common, these traits that are common to all of us, to these coaches and these friends gathered here this evening with us, and to the teammates that we shared at our beginnings. To these we owe a debt of gratitude that we can never repay. This is why we're all proud to be Trojans. We thank you all for coming this evening. This is only the beginning of our Hall of Fame effort. If you want to know more about it, you can get a tape, a video of tonight's proceedings, for example. You can go to foothillhalloffame.org. We will be back next year and look forward to making this a better and better event. But we're really grateful all of you who have come to share with us this first night. We're proud of all of you who were honored this evening. Congratulations on the lives that you have lived so well. And we want to thank all of those who have worked tirelessly to make this evening happen. Let's hear everybody in. We want you to feel free to stay. Of course, we thought we'd be done about 9:30, so you're not going to stay here as long since it's 11 o'clock. Feel free to stay and hang out here. The bar will stay open and we'll have some good times. We'd like all of the inductees to make their way up right here to this spot, this little tiny spot. But we want all the inductees, the basketball team, everybody that was inducted tonight, come up here. We want to take a team photo. We have something we want you all to sign so we can remember it for tonight. And with that, thank you to everyone. Great job. Congratulations to everyone. We love you all. I'm glad you've been here. Hope you had a good time.